Hello, my friends. This is Pastor Troy Cunningham again. And today I'd like to share with you something that I saw last night in a Facebook post by some very close friend of ours. Um, we're very close friends with a family in the Raleigh, Durham area, good, godly Christian people. And they have a daughter who is about 17 years old. And she is also an INFJ. She just found this out, I guess, probably uh, 2 or 3 months ago. And anyway, this young lady made a Facebook post, and in that post, she used the phrase, uh, I think she was referring to herself as having humble confidence. Now, that seems like a bit of a paradox to most people, but when I read those words, how she said, we possess an humble confidence. I was just drawn to those words, and I thought how accurately descriptive that is of most of us INFJs. We share that humble confidence about the very things that we possess, whether they be gifts or abilities, talents, whatever they are. Uh, our status in life, financially or otherwise, whatever, wherever we are in life. Um, we seem to share this idea or this sense of an humble confidence about ourselves. And it brought back to my remembrance, um, when I was a child, I've always played the piano. Since I was six years old, I started learning then. And I picked up the piano so quickly that, a lot of people raved about it, and they wanted me to come and play at their church and play for social functions. And I would go to different meetings, even social events, like Kiwanis Club or those kind of things, and play for people as a child. And I remember always being very nervous in situations like that. I never wanted to be put in those positions, but my father, and mother were both adamant that, yeah, yes, son, you need to go and you need to use your abilities and your talents, and let them be a blessing to other people. And I can remember, after those kind of performances, I can remember people coming up to me as a child and shaking my hand, hugging my neck, and telling me, how, that was phenomenal, young man. You were just great, and on and on and on. And I hated that. I hated that, all that attention being drawn on me, because I didn't feel, for one thing, I didn't feel like I was all that special. I just, I'm just me, and I'm just playing a piano, and what's the big deal? Uh, and another thing was, I just really, you know, I just really wasn't comfortable with all of the fanfare, and being an introvert, I would rather have been in the woods somewhere picking mushrooms or on a pond bank fishing. I just didn't want to be at these social meetings at all. So it was difficult for me. And I can remember as a child something my father told me, and it's stuck with me all these years. He said, "Son, when people pay you a compliment," he said, "the thing you need to learn how to do is to say thank you." And that sounds so simple. To most types, it would be a very easy thing to do, is just say thank you. But for me, when people would pay me a compliment, telling me, how good I played, or what a fine young man I was, and all this, I just wanted to run and hide. I didn't want to say anything. I just wanted to go away, and I wanted them to go away. And I remember, my dad telling me how rude it was not to let them know that compliment was appreciated. And that was part of this humble confidence. It wasn't that I didn't have the confidence to perform. I knew I could play these songs that they wanted me to play. I knew I could get up there and do it quite well at the time for my age. I knew I could do what was being asked of me. I just hated all of the attention that it brought to me afterwards. And to be honest with you, even now at 47 years old, I still struggle with that same feeling, that contradiction or that paradox, if you will, of humble confidence. There's things I know that I can do well internally. I know in myself I can do this. I just don't want all the accolades and all the fanfare and the credit for doing it. Um, I find it appalling, really, when I see other people wallowing in all of the attention, because it's just so unlike me myself. Humility is really a very wonderful aspect of the Christian experience as a Christian. Uh, Humility, the Bible says that God resisteth the proud, but He giveth grace to the humble. Um, and so I've always believed that. I've always, resonated with that verse internally and spiritually. But at the same time, we do have, many of us have very strong gifts, very well uh, developed gifts, and we have very well developed skills. Many of us can do things with our hands that many other types cannot do. Some of you, do things with your feet that other people can't do. You might dance or whatever. Some of you just, you can, you can use your mind and develop things in your head and ideas that other people can't do. And you can, some of us speak well. Almost all of us write phenomenally. In fact, that's one thing I noticed last night. This young lady, 17 years old, wrote her Facebook comments and her and her post with such elegance and such precise, the English language coming out of her fingertips or out of off that keyboard was phenomenal. And I knew when I read her post, she's definitely an INFJ because of how well she writes. And most of us are phenomenal writers, and it's just a gift. It's natural. Um, we're not proud of it. It just comes natural to us. But when it comes to writing, we're very confident in the fact we can do it. Many times people in my family will come to me if they need something written, and they say, "Daddy, will you write this?" I've had my own children come to me and say, with high school paperwork and essays and this kind of thing, and they'll say, "Dad, can you write this?" Or they might give me. I say, "Well, give me a rough draft, and I'll look over it." And then, they'll give me the ideas, and then I'll write it out, and flawlessly, and it's just a gift that we have, and I'm confident that I can do it. I just don't tell me how wonderful I am when I get done. That's for somebody else. But I was just blown away by those little words, those two words, humble confidence. What a paradox. And I believe many of us share that commonality. And if you have, a story to tell about that or something you want to share about that, maybe there's things that you're good at as an INFJ, and it's just hard for you to really want to accept the thanks or any of the, um, accolades for your accomplishments. If you've struggled with that, share that with me in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, do that. We'd love to have you with us. And, I hope maybe something I've said will, today can resonate with some of you that, you've experienced these struggles. And this was a struggle for me, especially as a child. And even still today, I struggle somewhat with this idea of humble confidence because it seems like such a contradiction, yet it's so very real in my life anyway, as an INFJ. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day, and may may we see each other again shortly. And anyway, stay humble and be blessed.